believe Jacob Fatu will certainly come out on top too. But I also want to give credit to Braun Strowman. I mean, this guy ain't nothing to play around with. He's a tough competitor. So, it could happen on any day. So this one here, I would like to say, like back in the day, this one will be too close to call.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of the Wrestling Time Machine by Sportskeeda. I'm your host, Mac Davis, and along with me is legendary pro wrestling journalist, Mr. Bill Apter. Hey, Bill.
Hey, great to be here with my two besties in the world, if you will, baby.
And, of course, the other guy he is speaking of is none other than WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. Teddy Long. Hey, Teddy.
Happy New Year, guys.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Hey,
Happy
man.
New Year. Wait a minute. It's the 20th.
I'm hanging in here, brother. Just hope they don't tighten up on the rope.
Wait a minute. We're taping this 20 days after January 1st. Happy New Year?
Well, Teddy had a cup of coffee before we started, so he's happy.
It's still New Year. The month of January is New Year. That's true. Now, after January, then we can forget about it.
Unless you're watching this in March or April later on, then it's not the new year anymore. But, hey, right now it is.
You think you know all the wrestling stories? There's more you haven't heard yet. Join us on Backstage Pass.
Two big matches have been announced for Saturday night's main event, guys. The two that I want to talk about in particular are Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu. I want to talk about that one first. Bill, what do you see in this match? I like the setup. I like the two guys size-wise, and the intensity, I think, can make for a really good match. But is this a place for Jacob Fatu to lose?
No way. They've signed, I think, 4 or 5 matches now as of we're taping this, but this is one of the real draws. No, yeah. I think that Braun Strowman is in a mindset that he's going to be a victim in this one. Jacob Fatu goes back to the old school, crazy Samoan character, who's not all there. He's totally nuts in the ring, and I think this is going to be fairly, after Braun Strowman is winning toward the beginning, Jacob's going to click and he's going to destroy Braun Strowman. And I think it's going to move Braun Strowman up another level to a championship match, and maybe down the line a championship reign. He's the best heel I have seen in a long time.
And you're speaking of Jacob Fatu, correct?
I am, yeah.
Yes.
Who did you think I was thinking?
Well, yeah, I got a little confused towards the end. I wasn't sure. I just want to make sure that was clarified. But Teddy, what do you think, or what do you expect to see between these two?
First of all, I want you to start paying more attention, okay? I heard Bill Apter just as clear as bells, okay? I heard exactly what he said. And here
I was just making sure.
Yeah, well, here's my opinion on that. I have to agree with Bill. I certainly believe that Braun Strowman is going to come out on top on this thing. But Jacob Fatu, I'm going to tell you something. Hold on. Now, you need to pay attention, Teddy. What Bill said was that he thinks Jacob Fatu is going to win the match.
Right.
Okay, what did I say?
You just said Braun Strowman.
I said I agree with Bill. Okay, well, let me straighten that out. I certainly agree with some of his comments, all right?
Yes.
But I think with myself, I have to agree, too. I was wrong there, too. I believe Jacob Fatu will certainly come out on top, too. But I also want to give credit to Braun Strowman. I mean, this guy ain't nothing to play around with. He's a tough competitor, so... it could happen on any day. So this one here, I would like to say, like back in the day, this one will be too close to call.
It is a match that I'm looking forward to see. My biggest issue, though, guys, and this is what I'm wondering from you, especially you, Teddy, having managed somebody and working with the talent like that. Braun Strowman, as big as he is, and with the moniker, the monster among monsters or the monster among men, he's anything but. He never wins the match, and they continuously make him look like a lunk in the ring. I think that ruins Braun Strowman's mystique of being a big powerhouse for later on. Doesn't it kill his credibility?
Well, I wouldn't say that it would kill his credibility, but it certainly doesn't help him a lot. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
the way the guy looks and the way that they use him is two different things. So I couldn't answer what the problem is there. You know what I mean? Why, things are happening the way that they're happening. Sometimes it's on the guy himself. So, like I said, we just don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
I think that he's not considered full-time. He comes out every few months. He's not on the regular rosters every week. So I think that, with him losing to somebody like a berserk Jacob Fatu and then staying away for another couple of months, and he comes back, he's welcomed back by the WWE universe, by the fans, like he never lost before.
Teddy, you were about to say something?
Yeah, I don't understand why you wouldn't have a guy like that, a monster guy like that on your full-time roster. I don't understand. You bring him in for a little while and then he fades back out. It just...
Even if he's a special attraction, like you're saying, Bill, in order to be somebody that people believe in when he comes back, he's got to be able to win matches. When was the last time Braun Strowman has won a match?
I don't remember, but I do know that his entrance, he's very intimidating looking when he comes out. He's got that old Hulkamania type of thing when he's coming down the ramp and everything. And to me, he's a guy who it doesn't matter if he wins or loses as long as he's hurting the heel. That's what they want. So if the end result is Jacob Fatu, which it will be, I think we won't see Braun Strowman for another month or two.
All right, let's talk about another match. Teddy, this one involves your baby's mama, and that is Nia Jax versus Rhea Ripley. Your thoughts?
Well, Nia's pretty much got her work cut out for her with Rhea Ripley. I can tell you that right now. Like I said, this is another one, will kind of, in my opinion, will be, real close. Yep. I mean, we all know the reputation of Nia Jax. We know the reputation of Rhea Ripley. These two right here will give it all they've got. So I tell you what, I just can't wait to see it.
It should be a great match. Bill, what do you think? You think Nia Jax has got any chance against Rhea Ripley?
Yes, but it could also be construed the other way around.
Yes.
But I think I've seen some weaknesses in Nia Jax. No offense to Teddy. I've seen some weaknesses in Nia Jax in recent matches, like against Bayley, where she's been handled quite a bit and looking like she's getting hurt. So I think she's going to 3/4 of the way destroy Rhea Ripley, and then Rhea's going to make an amazing comeback and beat Nia Jax.
Bill, let me ask you a question now. The Sportskeeda sent this question in. They wanted to know, actually, they were telling me that you're not a fan of Penta.
That's not true. I am a fan of his. I'm not a fan of what's being done with Penta. If you rewind back when he made his debut match, I got a lot of heat for comments saying Chad Gable came out on top as far as I was concerned. The next day I thought about Chad Gable, not about Penta, because Penta took quite a beating in that match. He also looked like he had hurt his leg, etc. I would have liked to have seen Penta against what they used to call a job guy or squash match for his debut. So I figured, well, maybe they're going to fix it this time. So now they have him against Pete Dunne on a recent Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Mm. And Pete Dunne was in charge like 3/4 of that match, and Penta feigned a arm injury. So it's not that I'm not a fan of Penta. I liked him in Lucha Underground. I liked him in AEW, but the fans are going crazy for him. On his costume, he gets a 10. I think that's in a 1 to 10, 10 being best, he gets a 10. But the work in the ring, I think, is not being as strong as the hype.
And so it's the presentation that you're having an issue with Penta. It's simply just the presentation of how he's wrestling. Teddy, your thoughts on Penta? Have you had a chance to watch anything with Penta?
Yeah, I'm familiar with Penta. I know exactly who the guy is. Yeah, I'm kind of like Bill with this. You know, there are a lot of guys, and he ain't the first one. There are a lot of guys that I've seen that all they have is entrance. Once the music stops, the entrance, it's all over with. You know what I mean? Because they don't get in the ring and perform like they came out to the ring. So that happens with a lot of talent. I think Penta will get better. I think he will certainly be real good in WWE. I think it's just going to take a little time. And I think what they're doing, they're taking their time with him too. I think they see it, but they just, he also has to try to help himself out too. So let's see what he does to try to convince him to, do a little bit more with it.
They're giving him what they call 50-50 matches with both Pete Dunne and Chad Gable. And I think what they need to do is give a 75-25 to Penta while they're building him up. He's great in the ring. He's obviously legendary from what he's done before, but this is similar to my comments that I made with the Motor City Machine Guns. When they came in, they were pushed as this incredible team, which they are, but they got killed for most of every match that they were in.
I agree there's an issue there, especially when it comes to 50-50 booking, but we've talked about that before. The issue I have with 50-50 booking is that you don't advance anybody forward. When you're doing 50-50, it's like putting your car in neutral and trying to make it go somewhere. It just doesn't work. Everything kind of sits there. Let me ask you.
The quote that I'm not a fan of Penta, that's not true. I am. I love how his work. I'm just not a fan of what's happening in his WWE matches.
And I'll say this too now. I've seen him in AEW perform with his brother, who was Ray Phoenix.
Yeah.
And they are actually incredible to watch. These are two fantastic workers, but he's now in the WWE, and they wrestle a little bit different in WWE. Like you notice now when he's in WWE, he's not doing nearly the amount of flips and stunts that he did in AEW, even Lucha Underground. It's been toned down a little bit, but I think, like Teddy says, I think they're taking their time, and so they're slowly putting the foot on the gas until he's ready to really go. So when he does, he wows everybody.
Well, remember, his matches are only like 8 or 9 minutes.
Yes.
So he can't get all his highlights in.
I'm not so sure that the wrestling matches shouldn't be shorter sometimes. Mm-hmm. I have seen wrestling matches, especially in the last month. Teddy, Bill, I don't know if you agree or not, but some of these matches felt like they went on way too long, that they should have ended way earlier. Teddy, you're nodding your head yes.
Yes, I am, because I've seen that too. You have to know who to give that time to. You don't give a whole lot of time to everybody.
Correct.
So you have to know who the guys are in the ring that deserves that 8 or 9 minutes. If it was me, I think any guy that you're trying to get over and get out there, I think 7 minutes is all he needs.
I agree. Bill, what do you think? Longer or shorter?
It depends who they are. If you get somebody like Seth Rollins against Drew McIntyre, I want a longer match. I get somebody that just does flips and a lot of luchador moves, I want a shorter match.
Yeah, and I was just about to say, for me, if you want to give me a longer match, it needs to have a story, and you need to be telling that story while you're in the ring. I don't just want to watch an exhibition for 10 or 15 minutes because it gets boring. How many flips can you see? How many dives through the ropes can you watch and be impressed by? You need to make it count.
I want a match that takes my breath away. And the past 2 Penta matches, the first one with Chad Gable took my breath away because I saw Gable, he was great. The second match with Pete Dunne didn't take my breath away. So
TNA star Joe Hendry. Teddy, do you know Joe Hendry?
No.
Whatever it is that he does, he turns his head and looks at the camera. He's over big right now in TNA, and he has now said, Bill, he wants... Teddy, get ready for this. A match against John Cena. Your thoughts, Teddy?
Well, I don't know. I don't know Joe Hendry. I might know him if I see him. I'm pretty sure I do. TNA is another one. I don't watch it much either. Sometimes I look at it, but yeah, to get a match with John Cena, I hope Joe's a tough guy, and I hope he beats Cena.
I have a feeling that we may see this match. Bill, do you think so?
So, in perfect timing and not knowing that this was going to happen, Joe Hendry, who is also a musician, is on the cover of Pro Wrestling Illustrated this month. It's on stands right now. And I don't work for them, but I saw that. So John Cena's father, John Cena Sr., when I mentioned this to him, he said, well, Cena, I'm sorry, that Joe Hendry kind of reminds him of his son back in those days. So he thinks it would be, if they do this match, it would be a very competitive match. Joe Hendry has turned the locker room upside down in TNA. He's become a very big star here. And I think in John Cena's comeback through this year, I would like to see the two of them against each other. I think it would be a great learning experience, not just a good match for Hendry, but I think it would be a great learning experience for him to go against the legendary John Cena. Teddy, why do you think John Cena would win?
I didn't say that.
No, I'm sorry. Why do you think Joe Hendry would go over?
I don't think that he would win. I said I hope that he beats John Cena.
Now, why?
Because I'm not a John Cena fan.
Wait a minute. We got to hold on. We're not scripted here. Why are you not a John Cena fan?
I'm just not a John Cena fan. I like the guy. Got a lot of respect for him. I mean, I've talked to him and different stuff, but like I said, I'm just not a John Cena fan.
Is it his rap act or?
It's I'll leave it with you. I'm not a John Cena fan.
And Teddy, I understand that. I have always said this, and I'm just one of those John Cena haters. Well, not a hater. I'm just not a John Cena fan. I'm one of the, if he's in a match, I want to see him lose more times than not. Yeah. I just never took John Cena. I don't know. Seriously, I don't know what it is. There was something about him. I just didn't like his matches. There were certain people that, even in the Attitude Era, there were people that, a lot of people loved. I was just like, some people like the Beatles, some don't.
So you're both singing John Cena sucks. John Cena.
Well, I don't want to say that because I don't know him outside of his wrestling, but when it comes to his matches, I don't care if he wins or loses, quite honestly.